Alright, let's try this again. Hello. I knew I was paranoid. I started this a little bit because I thought that I was recording. Um, Turns out I wasn't. So we're gonna minimize this. As you can see, I added a little bit more detail. I started talking about. Now I'm paranoid. I'm gonna keep checking this now. Um, so I was gotta remember what I was talking about now. So I'm doing something a little bit different here. I've got music in the background. Um, as you can see, I got a little bit of work done while I thought I was recording and speaking, and it turns out I wasn't. I was speaking, but I was speaking to myself. Whoops. Anyway, we got it fixed now. I pressed the play button. Um, but anyway, I'm recording with OBS this time instead of my usual program, and this time I'm actually recording. I'm glad I checked that, because who knows how far I would have gone without realizing. It's only been a few minutes, but it gives me another chance to talk about the things I was trying to relate to you without realizing it was off. I have music in the background to try to make things more interesting since I'm doing something a little bit more repetitive this time around. I'm listening to some stuff on YouTube. It's non-copyrighted, so it should be fine for this video as well. If it's not, we'll deal with it later. But I thought it would be more fun when there's gaps of me not talking, since this is a more repetitive part. Wow, I'm so flustered from what happened earlier that I'm flubbing already. That's fine, we'll get over it. But I don't know what, because it's I haven't looked through the music to see what all they're going to be playing. I have no idea what music we're going to be listening to. So I'm going to have to look back at this and make sure I put timestamps in the description in case there is some inappropriate content or swears or anything like that, because I do have younger people watching this video. And me personally, I wouldn't care about swearing. I listen to music that with swearing all the time. But I am blending this too much. I got distracted trying to explain things. I'm gonna go with a lower setting. Get in there. But yeah, that's essentially this. I can't talk. I used it all up on the previous part that I thought I recorded, but I didn't. But anyway, we're in it. That's essentially everything that I talked about. The part I thought I recorded. So we're caught up to speed. You didn't miss much. It was more repetitive stuff. And I suppose I could just like record some of it, for part of a speed paint and then get back to you guys at another point. I don't really want to do that. I feel like it's better if I have this up in, all the parts like together, if that makes sense. I know I only do this like once a week or post these only once a week, but it does give space in between. But anyway, if we're going by the time down here, we're gonna go until like 10:30 on this clock. That's when my brother, his school, quote unquote, ends. I think he's still in class for a little while longer. Not 100% sure. That doesn't look nearly as good. I think I might be. Well, first of all, I'm using too dark of a color. I'm gonna darken this one, but not too much. Add a little bit more color on that. We'll just add that in between. But anyway, that's when my brother gets out of classes, and that's when he's gonna try to come into my room to hang out. So at that point, you won't be able to record. I think Wednesdays are probably a good day. I think it's Wednesday. I should know what day of the week it is. I think Wednesdays are a good day to record. I have the day off. I have time in between because I gotta get up at 3 in the morning tomorrow on Thursdays. I wonder what I did. I mean, I took a too dark of a color over here, I guess, but oh well. It'll still be fine. We can make it work. It'll blend together eventually. If we zoom out, it doesn't look bad. It just doesn't blend. You know, like there's too much, like it looks like indented, if that makes sense. It doesn't really look like fur. So we're going to go in and try to fix that. Maybe I'll thin these out a bit too. Maybe that's part of the problem. I guess still want this to be a little darker. Maybe I'll go into the previous stuff we did too a little bit just to make it blend a bit better. I'm gonna double check to make sure we're still recording. I think we're good. Yeah, it's still pretty dark, but I think having some of the darker lines over this way will help it all blend together instead of making it look like it's a dented crater in a moon. That's not what we want. I mean, this is a good lesson at least. Kind of explains a little bit how not to go too dark or else you're not going to be able to fix it properly. You want to go light to dark. Start up, if you think it's too light, it's okay. Start off with that anyway, and then go in for the darker colors and do it slowly, do it progressively. Don't go from like a very light gray straight to black. You want to do like, you know, like add a little bit of an actual white gray, a little bit of a darker gray, and maybe not even use black unless you absolutely need it. That is a little better, but we're going to add a little bit more of this, and I might go in, might regret going in this this thick of a color. We're going to try it anyway. Try to do this evenly. Should be fine. Unfortunately, the more we blend this, the more smooth it's going to look. But that does, let me zoom out a little more. Blending wise, it still looks better than it did. It doesn't really look like fur in that patch anymore, but I think we're going to leave it as is for now. I want to move on and finish the cheek and the head. And then we'll move on. What should we do next? Maybe we'll move on to the arms just to get a little bit of a difference down here, and we can focus on like tiny bits of shading like in between here. Let's show how that works out a little bit. Turn that down a little bit again. And you know what? While I am working on this, I do want to talk about that comic that I was working on like over a year ago. I have steadily been making progress on that as well. Um, I need to order more markers for it though, which kind of sucks. But I thought I wasn't going to be able to make much progress, but I found a marker that's very close to the one that I'm missing, or not missing, that ran out of ink. And I think I'm going to use that one, um, just so I can get chapter 1 finished. You know, I've got one part that is exclusively black and white, and I've got one that's in color that will probably also still need that specific marker. And then I'm going to order some new ones. So when I get to that point in chapter 2, because chapter 2 is quite a bit longer, I'll be able to crank that out in between commissions. I've missed working on this specific comic I'm talking about. Oops, did not mean to do that. Get out of here. But maybe in between these tutorials and possible streams, I will post the speed paints that I have prepared for the comic pretty soon, because I want to do that in between each chapter too. And I've had these recorded for like at least a month. I'm not sure. I can't remember when I record them, but it's been a while. And I'm very excited for them. Now we are curving a little bit. I didn't mention that as we were doing it, but the curve here is very important to make the cheek look a little bit more puffy. Like I said, you do want to have the fur move in the direction that it actually looks like it's going in. I should also mention, if you don't want to use this reference and you want to draw a different squirrel, you can draw a different squirrel. You can still, you should be able to use, as long as you have a photo reference to go off of, you can probably still go off this tutorial. The fur is going to look different on yours, different colors and everything, but it should still help with the fundamentals of the fur, if that's the only issue you're having. We're going to do one more layer of this darker color, and we're going to try to close in that gap, at least a little bit. There we go. Then we'll go in with lighter colors once I blend this this ring together. We won't blend the top yet because there's not enough to blend, but let's zoom in a little bit. I keep forgetting to stay zoomed in. Over here, I was okay zooming in. For some reason, I'm not doing it over this way. Oops, too much. That should be better. Now I can see all the white space I missed. So we're going to go back in there. Oh, I don't know if you're going to hear it, but OBS captures a lot more audio than Debut was. So you might hear more, like, I don't know if that can be heard. More joints cracking, more pen movements, more tablet clattering. That's all going to be because of the because of OBS. It picks up more from what I noticed. It should. Yeah, we're gonna put this song in the. Yeah, zoom out a bit. Yeah, that's pretty good. We're gonna start going in with lighter colors now that we're closer to the center of the cheek. We're not gonna do too much brighter. My headphones almost fell off. Alright, we're fine. We're gonna do this progressively here. Alright, we're gonna try go a little bit lighter again. That might be too light, but we'll start with this one then. I'll stick with these for the last few layers. Alright, last time I couldn't position my legs properly to keep them from spazzing out. I am now I'm laying down now. I'm getting to the point where my right arm is freaking out, which isn't great because that's my drawing arm. But, probably like a dull soreness, and I don't really get why because I'm leaning on my left shoulder. It's gotta be the angle that I got myself at, but nothing I do seems to fix it, so whatever, it's fine. I've done this for 8 hours straight before. I can absolutely hold off for another hour before trying to move it, so we are fine. I have to zoom in and put a little bit of a darker color back here, or a duller color, just so it blends well. Alright, I'm getting paranoid again. No, we're still good. As far as I'm aware, at least. Alright, zooming out. Yeah, I kind of like that. I feel like the center is a little too bright, but I also kind of like it at the same time. It's a weird, I think we're gonna leave it. Alright, we're gonna move on to his little arms here. We'll do the one in the back first. We're gonna try to match the colors we did with the ear because it's a little farther back. Maybe start with something a little lighter. I'll go with this guy. Okay. And we're gonna go around the paws themselves, and I have him holding a walnut. Looks a little bit better than what I've got in here. I'll zoom in a little bit so you can see those a little better. How did I do that last time? I think I had that fraying down like that. And we'll block that out just so we know where to stop. And we'll go over that later. So I'm still going to try to do this all on one layer too. So that should be interesting with all the extra detail that we had before. I'm looking at this and I'm realizing we still have a lot of work to do. But that's okay. we're gonna keep it lighter on the outside here, then go darker as we go in, because the shadow's gonna be like right in here. Alright, now we'll go in a little bit darker. I don't know why I went brighter. We'll go like right there. Still keep some color in there. Slightly darker for the shading. Okay, we're going to add a little bit more of this one, and then we're going to go with even darker brown for the very end here. It's okay if, like, because I did this with the ear too, if it blends a little bit more smoothly, because it's going to look blurrier from the back anyway. And I could add some black in here, but I think it'll look better with just this darker brown. So I'm going to go ahead and darken this just a little bit. Add a little bit of that just so it blends together. It's not just one solid color, despite me not making it fur-like. But it should still blend as if it was fur when I go in. Should have, let's see, a little bit like that too, just to go around the claw a little bit. Okay, that's one arm done. I am going to go in with a little bit here, a little bit of a bigger blender. Zoom out. I kind of like that. Alright, and now I'm going to do the other arm, and then we're going to do the shading here. Because we want to make sure that this blends in with the fur we've got on the outside here too. Zoom out again just to see the progress we've made. It's pretty good so far. Alright, now we're going to go back in. We're going to do this the proper way. We're going to go light to dark. Hadn't been doing that before. We're going to try to do, like I did with this arm, I'm going to try to do that all at once, so I don't make any mistakes like I did with the other arm. I'm going to extend this out a little bit more than what I originally had before. That's why we use the sketch. It's more of a guideline. You don't have to be exact to what you had. In fact, most of the time when I do my sketches, the outline is never like 100% the same. Okay. You know, I might change my mind on when I stream. I might wait until I get either to the tail or like the bigger chunk of the body down here, which might actually, some of it we might get to today. We'll see. Stretch my arm a little bit. Alright, I'm hitting that point where the white background is throwing me off. We're gonna add, what color should we do today? Should we do green? Let's do green. Okay. Get this color back. Start going a little bit darker with these lines here. Only a little bit at a time. I can switch colors, thank you. Okay. Yeah, we're gonna have to cut this song too. Why don't we instead do this until the song's over? I think we're still recording. I'll put that back up once this song's over. Sorry, it's a little quieter now. Yeah, that song was not okay. I'm still listening to it. Um, that song's not okay for younger audiences, like at all. A little bit darker with everything. Okay. I definitely lost my patience a little bit with this. It's a combination of the fact I thought that the videos I was listening to would be more appropriate than this. I was wrong. Guess that's what I get for not checking them. I think we're okay now. We should be okay. I don't see the audio on here going. There we go. There we go. That should be fine now. Just trying to see how much white space I have in here that I need to fill. It's really hurting my eyes today for some reason. Definitely got more white space in here than I originally thought. Yeah, that'll be fine though. This might actually work out to my advantage. It's lighter than what I wanted it to be, but it's also closer to us, like to the quote unquote camera, so it might work out better anyway. Alright, let's zoom back out. See, I don't mind the effect that's got, but I think it's still too bright. Oh, we'll fix that in post, because I still think we make some more progress today. We got like a half hour before um, anything else is gonna happen. We're gonna extend this to this bit and blend that. Now we're gonna go up here, and we're gonna go right in with this lighter brown. Still darker than what's down here, I think. We'll have to blend this together, so we'll add that. For here, we'll zoom in so we make sure we get the darker tones we need. Start with that, and we'll start getting a little bit darker, a little bit more than a little. Make sure it's still got color. And this part we're not going to do a fur effect on, just on the outside here where it connects to the arm. That way, and I kind of did that with the ear over here too, and mostly this one. If everything has like a furry looking effect, it won't stand out as much. But if you have some stuff here blended, it gives a better effect to the outside here. At least that is my theory as I go further in here. We need to connect it to the top too. So what I am going to do for that, throw in a little bit of that, try to get everything connected so that it all blends together. Alright. Get the arm in there. Alright, that makes me happy actually. Didn't turn out exactly the way I wanted to, but I do like it. Alright, with that done, I guess we'll finish the head here and start moving out to the back, or I could do part of the stomach here. We'll do part of the head. I did say last time we were going to finish drawing the head. So, how did I have this done here? The way I had this is I had like a line here that went down to the back, and then I had the curve here connect. So I guess we'll do that. Let's see. Let's grab some colors in here then. Add that just a little bit so it's not too yellow. So we're going to draw a little border here to see where we're going to go. So that's where that will be. It's going to fray a little bit. And then we're going to connect this point here, and this point here. Make sure everything's still working fine. Recording's still going. Audio's still good, I think. Paranoia does a lot of terrible things too. But it's a good thing I checked everything, you know? I'll zoom out again, just to see what progress we made. Every time I zoom out, I see it, I like how everything's coming together so far. That's another reason why it's important to zoom out. Like, I mean, there's clearly like mistakes here and there. You know, every piece is going to have mistakes. You're never going to be 100% accurate. There's always something that you can do better, but sometimes you have to draw a line and be like, that's as good as I'm gonna get it. And there's always room for improvement. You don't have to stop and say, I'm done forever. Take a picture of that piece, and then if you decide, I feel like I want to go back and improve this, go back and improve it. Again, sometimes the best way to go about that kind of thing, take a step back for a little while and come back to it later. It doesn't work for everything, but for art, I feel like especially, there was a period where I couldn't draw for like a month, and that was really weird for me. And then when I got back into it, I felt like I was doing better than I had before I stopped drawing. You know, if you overdo it, you burn yourself out, you're not going to get as good results either. So you got to have like a nice balance in between. I'm going to make some lighter portions here. I'm going to zoom in again, because that was part of my problem last time. And eventually we will get to this eye too. I don't think we're going to do this part today. We will do it, maybe we'll do it next time. We'll see, because I do want to get to the rest of the body, make everything connect. I zoomed out again and I saw that border and I like the colors on it already. I just gotta stay zoomed in properly so I can keep from getting too many white lines here. Stretch my arm again. Okay. Go back in with the darker color. Oh, my shoulder just popped. It didn't hurt. It actually felt good, so we're okay. Let's see. I need another color here. Let's grab from down here. Zoom back in. Alright, let's start. Ooh, didn't mean to do that. That was a little bit too quick of a movement. Let's try blending some of this together, because we do have to put this together with the ear at some point too. Let's add a little bit there, just so it's together. Okay. There we go. That works. Yeah. We're gonna shrink this down. You know, in a sense, this is putting everything together like this is almost like a puzzle. You know, you do everything in little chunks, and then when you think you've got everything that fits together from one part and can connect it to another, you just shove it over to the side and connect the pieces. I did not phrase any of that very well, but I think I got my point across. Maybe. Oops. I don't know what happened there. Alright, see now. It didn't get as dark as I thought it was going to, but it does connect with everything else pretty well, so I'm not going to complain. Alright, so let's zoom back in and go back in with some of... I'll do a little bit darker colors now, because I do want the cheek to stand out still. Okay. Okay, let's blend that together. I feel like that's a little darker than what I wanted, but I do have a lot of white space in there. So, that doesn't look too bad. It's darker than everything else, but it's blending over here, so it should work out fine. If it doesn't, we've got 15 minutes to fix it. It's either that or work on it next time, but I think we'll be fine. Oh, it's just again. Okay. Alright, zoom out. Yeah, it's a lot darker, but I kind of like it. I'll add some lighter tones in between and blend those together, but I do like how dark that turned out. You know, we'll finish the end here, and then we'll go back in and add lighter colors. Maybe go in with a smaller blender just so it doesn't lose the fur effect. Alright, I'll add a little bit of a brighter color in the middle here too. Just fill in some of the white space because it's too bright. Blend that together, and then we'll go back in and see how light we need to make the rest of it. Oh yeah, that's pretty dark compared to the rest of it. What should we do here? Add that to the edges. And this is a little messy, but since we've only got like 10 minutes left, I'm trying to be a little bit quicker. If it doesn't work out here, we'll just do it in the next one. It won't be a big deal. Just gonna make sure that it blends in a way that it looks natural instead of having it too dark here. That's what it looks like right now. Yeah, go a little bit lighter here. What nice calming music to end a recording on, huh? Zoom out. Still pretty dark, but I kind of like how this turned out. I'm gonna try something. Save. Make sure I'm still recording. I believe we are. Yep, okay. We're gonna try going with a bigger blender, but going in lightly. So we still get that fur effect, but we blend some of the lighter colors in a little bit more. If that doesn't work, I can just revert back to the last save and it's fine. Yeah, I don't know how well that's working. Unless we do this. Go in with a smaller brush and go back in. Nah, that didn't really work either. Ew, what is that? I don't remember doing that. I wonder how long that's been there wherein I didn't notice. Alright, but I think that's pretty much it for today. I think that it's not the way I wanted it to look, but I think that looks fine. Especially since we still need to put everything else together. I can always add finishing touches there in another part. Let's see how that looks on just a regular white background. Let's change, oops, that is the wrong color. Let's change that back. Oof, still obnoxiously bright, but it looks better against the white background. Alright. Well, I think I am going to end it here. It's a little bit earlier than what I originally planned, but getting a little run down already, and it's only 10 in the morning. I didn't get a lot of sleep last night again. But let me know what you thought of this part. Feedback, questions, comments, concerns, all that stuff. Suggestions for future parts and future projects. Throw them at me. Do it. Alright. But I hope you enjoyed, and I will see you guys in the next one. Bye.